Hey crew, welcome everyone to today's live stream. Apologies for the delay. If you guys have been seeing me, switch on and off in regards to the live streams, we've had a few issues today in regards to some technical difficulties with the programming, and I have, tell you the truth, I think it's something to do with the weather. So if the weather is not playing nice, I'm just going to be like, fine, it's up to that. Let's just do it. So we are live currently on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Instagram. So welcome everyone to today's live stream. Welcome, hello. And I welcome everyone today where we're going to be talking about experiential marketing for small business. So I'm going to get into a lot of tips and tricks today as to like what it is, how it works, and how we break it down. But if you have any questions, make sure that you comment them below, or if you like today's live stream and you think someone needs to hear about this, make sure that you share, that you tag a friend, or share it on your own profile or page. You can do that too if you like. And looking at my tips, that's all I really need to do today. So welcome to everyone's welcome to the live stream, and thank you so much for all your patience. I don't know what exactly has been happening as of late with this live stream, but it's working. I've pressed buttons and it seems to be doing the right thing. So let's just keep doing that. And if you do hear any heavy rain or thunder in the background, unfortunately I can't control that. The weather has been a bit gloomy today, and even though I do enjoy rain as a weather, I prefer to be out inside viewing it as opposed to being in it most of the time. But today, let's focus on the point of today's discussion and looking at my notes, making sure that I've got everything here. Cool. All right. So today we're going to talk about what is experiential marketing. So experiential marketing is, the classical term, is a trend that involves marketing your product or service through custom experiences that engage your customers and create an emotional attachment to your business brand and the client end result. What does that all mean? So essentially what that means is creating experiences for your audience, experiences for your customer, that is, that have emotional connection to your brand. And later on in today's live stream, we'll be going through a couple of the examples that, bigger brands have shown from experiential marketing. But I've seen a lot of people inquire about it, and especially with me, inquiring about what exactly is experiential marketing, but not really understanding how it could apply to them in a small to medium business context. So I'm going to go through a couple of those options later on in today's live stream. But if you have any questions about what it is, or you might have a clear idea of how to use it in your business, do comment and let me know below. But essentially, that's what you're working on today. We're working on engagement marketing. So bring people on into, the sphere of your business, making sure they understand what you sell and how you sell it, so you can reside or be remembered in their brain long term. So the term that a lot of business people use, and what I especially use, is the term of renting a space in a person's brain to remember your business when they need you most. So the best idea being, say for example, if I say, okay, I'm going to need, just like, go around to friends, go around to family, and you say, hey, I need a mechanic. My car's a little bit beaten up, but I need to go get to the mechanic to be refurbished, get the oil changed, do it. Can you recommend anyone? And the first example that's coming into your head right now is renting that space in your brain because they either really did a really good job with your car, or they really did a good job with someone else's car from you, like either a friend or a family member, or you've just seen a bit of their advertising, or a number of factors can help you remember that specific mechanic in your brain. But it works for but it works for other businesses too. And that's what I want you to remember when it comes to anything involving around the experience or the engagement side of experience and engagement marketing. So essentially that's what we're going to be focusing on today. And if you have any questions, make sure that you comment down below what they are, and I will make sure that my little fun thing is actually going to tell me what it is, and it's going to tell me what the questions are and comments are, because apologies for that. The last week's live stream, it just didn't tell me until after the live stream. I'm like, no, the point of notifications is to tell me when things are happening right away. But for you guys, I apologize for that. And we'll fix that for next time, which is now, because this should have been fixed. We'll figure that out as we go along. And hopefully with the weather is going to be nice to me today, so then the live stream will actually go out on time, not be too staggered for you guys, and it will make a whole lot of sense. Hopefully. But if you want to do me a favor, all I ask is that you maybe share this on your profile or share this on your details. Oh no, it's getting a bit heavier. So if anyone, or if you know any business owners who's struggling in regards to marketing their business and they're not entirely sure what to do next or what to do now, I highly recommend that they stick around for this live stream, or if you're in the hashtag repost squad, so someone who's watching after the live stream has occurred, and you can still hear me over this heavy rainfall, then still stick around because we'll be giving you a lot of helpful tips and tricks. As long as you can still hear me, comment below if you can still hear me, because I'm a bit concerned that you can't. I'm making this as loud, and I'm using a directional microphone, so the microphone that only picks up my voice, that is aimed at my face, so it shouldn't really be picking up all of the stuff around me, but it is quite loud, so microphones are going to have a tendency of doing that anyway. So let's see how we go with that. But for you guys, let's focus on, I've already touched on a little bit of what experiential marketing is, but I think I'm going to jump into a couple of examples of what the big leagues or what are the big businesses and industries out there are currently doing with experiential marketing. So you guys can get a couple of ideas of how some of those, or maybe how you've experienced experiential marketing in your day-to-day life. So you can see some of these examples, and hopefully you don't need to worry too much because it will be loud, but you'll be able to actually see everything that's going out in the live. And g'day guys on Instagram. And for you, what you'll be doing, and I'm going to get that up for you guys right now. So I'll give you a couple of examples through the Biz Abo blog that you'll be able to see on screen now. So you're able to see that you're actually watching my screen right now. And I'm sorry, unfortunately, you guys on Instagram, I'm unable to show you the screen right now, but feel free to listen to my examples that I'm going to vividly describe to you guys. So scrolling down the screen, we get to what experiential marketing is, which I guys have already told you in today's live stream. But say, for example, let's just go and click on 3D Oreos. And on screen, it shows a vending machine that they probably propped up, I imagine somewhere in America, because why wouldn't they? Looking at, they created 3D, Merzenzel International, blah, 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 blah. Okay, it doesn't actually say where it was. But, so 3D Oreos by SXSW. Looks like they've been able to create Instagrammable moments, or moments that people actually take photos of or videos of when experiencing or dealing with your brand. So for example, these 3D Oreos allowed people to create their own Oreo mix, or like their own custom Oreo mix in like a vending machine type capacity. So yes, it took probably a little bit of time, money and investment for them to create the vending machine and, you know, make sure it's stocked and filled and everything. But the amount of good karma that they got regarding the brand, and the amount of, you know, people, you know, taking photos, taking videos and sharing their content around, because as Facebook and many other platforms have done, you actually want to hear from your friends rather than hear from businesses that are paying to be on the platform. So if someone is, you know, sharing a cool video of a vending machine that's making a custom-made Oreo for you, one, you're going to watch it, and two, you're going to ask, where do I get one for myself? So that's experiential marketing in a nutshell in regards to be able to bring your audience on board to what you're, doing with your brand. And of course, Oreo and the people behind Oreo, it's quite a large brand, so they've got a lot of money to throw around in regards to these things. And for small business owners, it might be hard to do. So say, for example, another example I'll scroll down to on random is, a good one on screen now, is the Stratos Red Bull situation, let's call it that. So if you remember a couple of years ago, the gentleman, I've forgotten what his name was. Felix Bremsgartner, Yeah, where he was in that little Red Bull like shuttle on the, on the almost near the atmosphere of space, and then all he did was to simply just fall out of it and come back to Earth. That was a huge spectacle, got so many eyes and so many people interested, and what people remembered in general was, always to push your boundaries, but the brand that they recognized from that specific event, the amount of news and press coverage that they got, the amount of good karma that they got for doing this seemingly ridiculous thing, but hey, it's Red Bull. So you remember that it was Red Bull that was the one pushing these boundaries, never being afraid to think big. And a couple of other main takeaways was that, meant to leave an impression on the people that viewed it in the long term. So like I say, if you remember the guy falling out of that shuttle a couple of years ago, you have a distinctive memory of that GIF or that video of him just falling backwards and just almost like, him flying through the air. So of Felix flying through the air, I should say. And that's why that became an experiential thing that, of course, cost Red Bull a crap ton of money. But in regards to their marketing budget, not as much as they already spend in regards to their marketing. G'day, everybody. And another one we can look at is, another one on screen is Sensodyne, which is I believe is a toothpaste that is meant for people with sensitive gums. They did a great sensitivity test, and it looks like they were doing it in London. So they set up these booths where you got people to sit down and, by the looks of it, talked about the triggers and asked people, almost like a consulting session with a therapist, but with a dentist who can recommend you, and probably was going to recommend you a free tube of Sensodyne toothpaste. So what I'm saying with all these examples is that you yourself have probably come across some experiential marketing sometime in your life with a business that you may or may not have noticed. And for ones that don't, and if you cannot think of any examples right now of experiential marketing that you've had yourself, then probably means that they haven't done a really good job. But say, for example, it may be something that can't come to your brain right now, but, say, for example, the Dollar Shave Club, or my recent experience with Up, which is a subsidiary of Bendigo Bank down here in Australia, where the experience was that they sent I'm talking about Up, the brand, so I'll get it up on screen for you so you know what I'm talking about. So this is the banking brand, Up, and just by having a quick squiz at their website, you can probably tell that it's meant or aimed at people like me. And scrolling down, you'll be able to see. But essentially what I got in the mail was not just, a card attached to a flimsy piece of paper that, just had my banking details on it. It came with its own little card holder. It came with a savings-based game that went up from like 1 to 100, and you like ticked it off, or press. It was like bingo almost, with saving up the money, and for the amounts that you saved, you're able to get your own personal game of bingo. And it's something that I wouldn't have thought of as a customer, but it's something that keeps them in my memory and in my renting that space in my brain. If anyone is talking about I need to switch banks, here's the example for you. And also they provided a clear helpful tools for me to be able to learn how to save, tutorials of their app, other things like that. They even gave me a sticker set. Yes, it was of their logo and of their branding, but still, stickers are cool. I'm going to be getting my own stickers soon. But you can see where I'm coming from in regards to, it was nothing for them. They were going to have to send me the card anyway as a customer, but they were able to make it an experience that I'm going to remember for a very long time. And in turn, I'm going to relay that experience to everyone I come across when it comes to the topic of banking. And that's what you want to do with your customers. You want to be able to create experience that either you have full control over or not, to be able to bring them on board to learn more about your business, or to be able to have a good, rent up that space in your brain, or rent up a space in their brain that elicits good feelings and good emotional payback. So moving on, the reason why engagement marketing is so powerful is because it gets to people on an emotional level. The reason why back in, say, the Victorian age, when all this, people, instead of started selling in, general, barter situations, they would make these huge, humongous spectacles. They would, prop up a stage or get on the back of a, horse and wagon and, create these elaborate posters and, start making, like, come here, and all this. I know it's a terrible Victorian accent, but the idea being of making these huge and utter spectacles and, curing people on the spot. Yes, these people are usually snake oil salesmen, but the idea being that you would just be like, you make it such a grand spectacle that people, of course, there wasn't a whole lot of entertainment in those days. People actually came out to see you and see what you would do with their attention. And that type of marketing is still resident today and still relevant today when it comes to small to medium to large business owners. And that's what I want you to do and think about of the areas that you have connection with your customers and what you can do for them. So like I said, I'll get through a couple of examples later on in the live stream, but I want to talk to you about some of the stuff. So now that you've got an idea of experiential marketing and how it's currently been done in the past, when I want to work with you for the rest of the live stream, which is about half an hour, I want to work with you guys on ways of thinking of experiential marketing and examples that you can use in your business. Do you feel okay with that? Feel free to comment below if you like the idea of that. Now, question that I will answer now is, why am I talking about experiential marketing? Well, the reason being is because with experiential marketing, because it is revolving around emotions, it's revolving around, keeping that part in the brain, people usually document the experience with a video ad, document the experience for future endeavors, for future business proposals or what have you. They usually document the experience through video because you're able to capture those emotional beats and those understanding of what's going on in the experience or the experience that you're putting on for your customer, because video touches all those points. So that's the reason why the video confidence coach, me, is talking about experiential marketing. So experiential marketing, like I said, could be anyway, all the way from large presentations at CSS or just variously on the side, or say for example down here in Victoria at Southern Cross Station, which is the main station, well, at least for us, the main train station in Melbourne. There's a lot of ones like Flinders Street and a few other places like that, but in the main area of Southern Cross, there's this large flat area where there's the entrance on one side, escalators on the other, and just a big area that you have to navigate across when you're trying to catch a tram or catch a train or what have you. But in that space, usually from time to time, they have experiential marketing. So they have areas where they've built a big diorama of something, and they are handing out free samples or handing out gift cards or handing out vouchers and all that stuff. But the idea is to get people talking, to get people taking photos, to get people taking videos and posting them online, to get good karma and get what people, and get that type of good karma that most people don't usually see, and being able to use user-generated content to their advantage. Now, you as a small business owner may be thinking, I don't have the money to pay for a large diorama in the middle of Southern Cross Station, Zoe. No, you don't. And neither do I, frankly, for that matter. But what I want you to focus on is ideas that you can conjure up that make your product, that make your service seem extraordinary. So, say for example, a step that I've taken to is when people have signed on to be a mentor with me or signed on for a consecutive amount of sessions with me, I organize a care package for them. So, Deb, if you're listening, block out, turn me off for a couple of minutes because you're going to ruin the surprise. And actually, most of the people actually don't know. So, I'll tell you guys. So, the care package usually involves, a couple of face masks, a couple of things to make the whole process nice and relaxing. Because the idea being that the reason they've come to me is to take the stress out of video marketing. So that's why I bring it all around to that. But the idea being, it's a thing that usually is a surprise to the customer. And Deb, if you're watching, it is a surprise. Do not listen any further. Or Tracy, if you're watching as well. Shush, shush. The idea being that it's a surprise, that I'm giving them personalized gifts as well. So it's not just me, putting something together in like a cool little box and just sending it off. It's actually personalized in regards to, okay, what do I think they're going to use? Okay, this in regards to a care package. And say, for example, if they've dropped any particular hints in the sessions that we've already had, I'll put that together nice and simple. And for some particular ones, I use a business down here. Yeah, I'll plug them. A Treat for Me. So if you ever find Treat for Me, I highly recommend. They put together a lot of care packages from, locally sourced, usually friendly, all that type of stuff, that I usually use them a lot when sending, care packages to clients. But it's something that elicits that emotional connection of, oh, she thinks about me more than just, a way to get money. Is the best way to put it. And for a lot of clients, that's what I do. I always make sure that they have that care package ready for them. And I'm currently developing pamphlets or little like cards that explain the process, because right now I'm just writing notes, and I am going to continue writing handwritten notes, another thing that you can do for experiential marketing, but it's also like it got all the details on the other side. So you can probably imagine, if you've ever ordered anything online, or if you've ever ordered some stuff and you may have gotten a handwritten note in with your package. Yes, you are the one that paid for that package, but you got a whole lot of like cool little tips or cool little things, a handwritten note, or maybe even a special gift along with what you purchased that you didn't know you were getting. That's another experience that you can, attribute to that emotional connection in your brain. And it's something simple that you as a small business owner can do that is achievable with what you're currently doing now, how you're currently running your business. Because remember, we want to make the audience or the customer feel something about the brand. We want them to be positive about the situation. There's no such thing as positive or negative emotions, but usually we want to attribute whatever the experience they're having with our brand or service or product to be a positive one. And you want to make sure that the interaction is a personalized experience. It's not something that they can see all their friends experiencing and the exact same stock standard stuff that they get all the time. Say, for example, there's a reason why these interactive museums are taking the world by storm, because yes, you get to have cool scenarios and locations where you get to take, selfies and take videos for Instagram, social media, TikTok, what have you. And that's a lot of people think, oh, it's just people being vain. But no, it's a place for people to have fun. They can roll around in ball pits. They can, throw balls at one another. They can act like kids and have that wondrous and excitement and fun by just going to a location, going to a museum and learning more about the interactive art that's taking place. An experience, if you will. But in that interactive element, they're actually interacting with the brand and remembering that brand long term because of that positive experience. Which can also work for negative experience as well, but we're not going to get into that today because, well, no one likes negative experiences. Well, I personally don't. And you always want to be heard and be seen when customers are, taking these photos, taking these videos, or they've experienced, receiving the product or receiving the service from you, having that personalized, touch to it, and also experiencing that feeling of being seen and being heard and just being seen as an individual, especially from a business's point of view. And you have to remember that a lot of people in business kind of forget this from time to time, but when you're working B2C, B2B is a little less so, but when you're usually working B2C, the customers usually don't think of a small business as a small business, usually a 1 or 2 or 3 person band. They usually think of business as business, like everything, like Coca-Cola and everything are all in the same batch. Which for people in business, that's definitely not true. There are very wide ranges when you're talking from, the one person running the entire operation to, a place like Coca-Cola or, the council or anything like that, where there's just like lots of people and lots of things happening. So when you're talking to the people, you have to, and all in a sense, remind them that they are an individual and that you're there to help them and to serve them. And to do that, you do that by personalized experiences that usually don't cost an extra lot of money or just have that personalized touch to what you're doing. And I will go on through a few more examples after I go through these points. And one statistic that I did find in regards to experiential marketing is that via EventTrack, which is eventtrack.com, 95% of people that went to a experience or participated in an experiential marketing event, 95% of those people purchased something from it. So it was either purchasing at the time of the experience or later on, looking at the images that they took off or uploading them or getting comments on them. Or if, say, for example, you're using a hashtag and they got a response from the business saying, we're glad you enjoyed your experience, they were 95% more likely to actually purchase from the business that was running that experience. That is an incredibly high turnaround, especially 95% of people who went through that experience. And EventTrack have had like a whole long list of people that they brought data from. But that's a very high percentage of people who just, experienced something, felt an emotional connection, and then immediately paid. That's not bad. And you're also able to access that as a small business owner yourself. Looking at the time, I think we might take a little bit of a break. I know. So we'll get through a couple of options that I have after the break, but we need to talk about our sponsors, which is myself, but I gotta help you guys somehow. Comment how you guys are going. The rain has cleared a little bit down here, so hopefully you shouldn't have to worry too much about any strange sounds. Oh look, you can see me in the live stream. All right, let's move on before I break something. All right, so on screen you'll be able to see we have details for our next workshop, which is Start My Podcast workshop and recording session. And the next one is going to be Monday let me look at the times because I've forgotten. It's the last Monday of every month. So this one, yes, Monday 24th from 5:30 to 7:30 right here at Creative Geelong. We teach you everything on how to start your workshop, how to start your podcast, get it ready, get it sorted, and you leave with a functioning trailer to get you going. As in your first podcast episode, you already walk out of the workshop with that in tow. So highly recommend if you're interested in checking that out. You've got the details of Start My Podcast workshop and recording session put on at Creative Geelong. And then the next workshop that we've just put up today, in fact, is on the 25th of March. We've got video on YouTube for Business Workshop. So we've been putting on a series for the NAB, focusing on different aspects of videos for different platforms. So on January, we had video for Instagram, which was very successful, and that was a workshop that really a lot of people enjoyed. And then this month, which is tomorrow, in fact. Tomorrow we have video for Facebook. So that workshop, really interested, really get ready to, really excited for that to go on and happen tomorrow from 12 to 2 p.m. But this one that I'm showing you is video on YouTube. So if it's something that you've seen other people in your industry try, or it's something that you think that will work well for your business, and you have got a lot of things to say, you got a lot of ways to educate your customer, then I recommend YouTube for your business. So we'll be touching on all those aspects on the 25th of March. And speaking of March, nope, this is April. Our next Geelong Podcasters meetup is happening in April on the 18th, and it's going to be a brunch. So that's from 10 to 12. And I'm really excited that we're going to be running this one because we've just got a lot of people interested in the Geelong Podcasters meetup. It's a collaborative group. It's a Facebook group right now, but we're going to be expanding it, soon enough. Speaking of which, we've got the podcast actually starting at the end of February. So not this Saturday coming up, but the next Saturday we'll be having the Geelong Podcasters podcast, first episode, series 1, up and out, ready for your listening pleasure. So you can listen and learn about podcasts that are being created in Geelong by people who live and work in Geelong and the Bellarine. So if you're interested in that, if you've started a podcast and you live in Geelong, or if you just know people that live down Geelong who need to start a podcast, get me to get in touch with them and I'll make them do it. got the skills, might as well use them. Okay. So how are we all going? Okay. All right. So let's have a look at some examples. Well, I'm not going to be able to show you, I'm going to have to tell you about experiential marketing for small business. So I've already touched on a couple of things that you can already implement into what you're already doing in regards to a business. So say, for example, if you're, providing products, then what you can do is, make sure you have a personalized note, that you provide a gift that is, no added cost to you, but something that will mean a lot for the consumer. And one thing that a lot of businesses can do, and have surprisingly not done that often, is partnerships or collaborations with businesses who are in your sphere of influence, but are not exactly a competition. So what I mean by that is, say, for example, I could be teaming up with, like I did in 2018, I teamed up with Catherine of A Guide to Consultancy, who works on Instagram and Instagram posts for businesses. And we worked with Mike James of I'm sorry, Mike, I've forgotten your business name. How can I forget that? Oh my god. Phone. Like, I can literally see the logo in my head. What am I thinking? Mike, you're gonna kill me, aren't you? Yeah, you are. Okay. Well, you just saw me panic just then. All right. So, apologies, Mike. I completely forgot his name. So I think it was smartphone training, smartphone photography training. Might have been, yeah. So I think that was that one. But in the guise of, he was teaching people how to utilize their smartphone to take photos more often. And even though our three particular industries are very close together, we weren't competition for one another because of the specialized areas that we were dealing with. So we were able to put on an event for the Small Business Festival. I think it was the Victorian Small Business Festival back in 2018. And we were able to put that together, and we're able to get, I think, 50 people in on the event, and we're able to collaborate that together to be able to help serve our audience and put the experience together for everyone to enjoy. So I'm not saying that you as a business owner need to put on, say, for example, like an event of some sort. You don't have to do that, but you can easily, come together to collaborate to create, a podcast episode together, a video together, or, work together to, show each other some love, make an effort to comment on their posts with engaging and insightful comments. And that can be your partnership that you have together. Say, for example, working together with someone else or another, or a collection of businesses to be able to provide, volunteer stuff or volunteer items for people in need, for example. And that was one of my answers that I had down here, was to volunteer your services to underprivileged places. So say, for example, if you were a group of people in the pet industry or pet profession, but one was a groomer, one was a creator of dog biscuits and dog food, and maybe one was a manufacturer of dog toys, and maybe one was a manufacturer of pet clothing or pet items to protect them from the cold and from winter and from various other places. You could all come together, even though you're all in various different niches of the pet industry. For example, you could come together to help with a dog shelter or a pet shelter, and help them clean them up for the day, make sure that they're fed, donate any food. Of course, it will take a bit of time and effort or some money from the business's end, but it's something that gives good rapport. It helps, it It clearly shows that you're actually there to help your community, and it's something that you and your business can fall back on or throw and, promote the hell out of it on social media. You're showing that you're doing a good thing and you're there for more than just profit. You're there to help your community as a whole. And that's the thing that you want to do as a small business owner when it comes to experiential marketing. You want to showcase that you are doing it to elicit that emotional response, but to also use it for, if you're putting in that effort to create that experience for your customer, why don't you utilize it? Why don't you make it something that people want to have or people actually want to experience? In that case, they're going to purchase from you to be able to experience that experience for themselves. Think about something that your audience would want or something that your audience would like, but they don't know they even need. Say, for example, if you're a personal trainer and you actually provide them with, customized sweatbands, for example. Of course, it may take, there may be a little bit of an added cost of actually having someone, stitch in the name, for example. But that's actually quite easy to do. And there's a lot of services out there that do provide personalized stitching on a one name basis. And you could, buy the sweatbands in bulk. And you're able to provide your customers with a personalized experience, something that they can clearly show off to their friends and family, something that is a physical thing that they're going to carry with them while they do the physical sport or with you, that they're going to be bringing to every single, training session that they have with you. Even if they no longer, after a period of time, no longer keep working with you, they're still going to be, appraising you and still going to be, letting their friends and family know, because yes, you are a great personal trainer, but you know what tipped it over the edge was my personalized sweatbands that I can now wear and use whenever I do any sort of physical training. And that's just one example. What's something that you and you as your business can provide, or something that you're already providing that could be customized, that could be made to individualize what you're doing for your customer? What's something that you could, that you're already doing? Or what's something that you could possibly be doing instead to be able to have that personalized experience? Again, it doesn't have to be a physical thing. It's just something that will elicit that emotional response from your customer to be able to remember you and remember your brand for the future, and to be able to rave about you, or maybe give yourself a bit of social media clout. Social media clout's always good. It's always nice, I gotta say. But if there's something, say, for example, you're a startup and you don't exactly have that money or that time to be able to, provide something physical or to be able to think of that right now, well, then why don't you, join Quora or join, local Facebook groups in your local community and answer specific questions. So if anyone has anything to do anything with your industry, be it very small or very big, just make sure you answer them. And you can do that. It's something that's not going to take extra time out of your day. It's something that you should already be doing, but listing out there, answering people's questions, going on social media on a fairly regular basis. And it's something that will, make people remember you and remember your business because you've helped them, even though you haven't gotten any monetary gain out of the exchange at that point. There's a good chance that they'll remember you when they need to go and get their answer in the future. They can easily just go back and remember you for that because you helped them answer or fulfill the need for their question. So that's an option that you can take that is not specifically, give them a personalized such and such, but it's something that you're able to actually achieve with very little time and effort or physical expenditure on the outset. And as I mentioned before, you can always send out care packages or, send out, gifts as per, the ratio of what they've paid. And like I said, if you are a product seller, well, then adding something in that specialized, personalized, or even just a handwritten note, something that reminds people that there's a human on the other end of the business, that, they've given you money or they've given some of their discretionary funds to help you pay your bills and live. So we've got 10 more minutes for today. So if you have any questions, now is the time to do so. Any more questions, I should say. Okay. So yes, experiential marketing is, giving people that experience that relates positively to your brand. So I've mentioned a couple of things during this live stream about, personalized, customized, stuff like that. So I want you to think about what you could possibly be doing that you may be already providing. So say, for example, a good one that I've seen people do is when people, give out their business card at events or networking events. I've seen some people have a, special type of business card. In business cards, you're already going to have to get them. But there's some business cards that I've seen out there that for photographers, they actually have a clear film in the middle. So they've got their details around the side in small writing. But in the film, it actually looks like a camera lens, and I don't mean a physical camera lens. I mean it looks like it's got the beveled edges, it's got the cross in the middle, it's got like a red dot in the corner that says recording, and people enjoy the novelty and they look through the business card and go like, wow, I can see things how a photographer would see them. And that's just something that, of course, it's going to take a little bit of money to invest in those type of business cards, but it's something that makes you rememberable. Rememberable? Yeah, rememberable is a word. So it makes you rememberable. It has a positive connotation with the experience that they had with you and your brand. And they're going to remember you for when they need your help in the future, because not everyone that not everyone that sees your ad, not everyone that gets attached to your business, or not everyone that comes to you and your business is going to need your help straight away. So if they don't need your help right here and right now, well, then what can you do to remind them in the future when they do need your help to have you in the front of their mind for when they need you? So, of course, you can always do that inside of your social media strategy to, have regular posts. Make sure that you actually remind people about different things that you've got going on. So that's the point of social media, I personally believe, and my business ethos is that social media should be there to remind people and to keep, paying the rent in the space in their mind that your business exists and they have a positive connotation to you. But as soon as that is damaged in any way, especially with larger businesses that, things can go terribly wrong, you need to be able to fix that straight away by providing something like experiential marketing to make it positive and to give people that positive connotation. So the key and the one thing that I want you guys to be able to take from today is to remember that your partnerships or the experiential marketing that you're putting together should elicit a positive emotional reaction with your customers. And if there's something that you can't think of right now, like you're not even sure, like, Zoe, how would I even do this? I'm an online only brand and there's no physical things that I can send. One, we have the post. So yeah, you can send physical things. You just ask people for their postal address and you can send them stuff. Like in regards to, you've got options when it comes to the things that you can do for your business. And if there's something that you can't think of right now, go to your mentor, go to your friends and family, go to, other business owners and ask any experiential marketing that they've had recently that really got them thinking. And it could be really simple stuff. It doesn't have to be these convoluted or these large, demonstrations that are happening in Southern Cross, in a train station somewhere. All you need to do is think about, what would my customer need, or what does my customer, emotionally need that they don't have right now? And you can provide that by something customizable, something individual, and something that's going to elicit a positive and emotional reaction for them to think about and, tell all their friends, tell all their family. So that is essentially what experiential marketing is, and experiential marketing for small business owners. So I hope you guys have had a good live stream today, and make sure you comment below, even if you're in the hashtag repost squad, if you're not sure about anything that we've talked today. If you have any questions about experiential marketing, or if you want to ask other people, what do you think about this idea? So I want you to think about that, and I'm going to leave you guys today. And thank you all for sticking by us with the weather, and also sticking by us when it came to those lovely technical issues. But I'm going to leave you guys to it, and hope you have a good rest of your week. Bye.